As we think about culture transformation, I thought that one way to illustrate that would be to kind of walk you through the process that we would go through with a client. We've done this with a number of clients, but just to give you a typical example so you would kind of get a sense for some of the elements of culture transformation and how they tie together. So I think just for the sake of this video, let's think in terms of 4 pieces. The first piece is the role of senior management. The second piece is the role of line management. The third piece is the role for all employees. And the fourth piece are the support activities. So let me come to the first one, the role of senior management. We need senior management to be engaged. So that means that you meet with them and we sit down and we chat and we say, here's what's happening. What do you think? Do you have a point of view? We need to make sure that they're included in the design, that they're included in terms of the decisions which we make. It's not a matter of Eagle's Flight coming in and just saying, here's the solution, run with it. It's more a matter of us coming saying, we've heard you. This is what we think is a good solution. What do you think? How would you like it shaped? And so we come to an agreement that senior management is very comfortable with and feels confident will do the trick. Once that happens, they are then able to take ownership of that. And that means they will often go on video and speak to it. They'll talk about the importance of it. They'll talk about the impact on the company when the transformation actually takes root. They will model the behaviors. Inevitably, culture is the sum total of what people do. So if you want to change the culture, you have to change what they do. So we begin with senior management and look at the kinds of things that they are going to have to do so that it's clear to the organization that they are in fact modeling the culture themselves. So we help them through that process, and then on a regular basis we meet with senior management and say, here's what's happening, here are some of the challenges, here are some of the hurdles, here are some of the successes, here's what's coming. So they are fully appraised of the process, the success that we're having, the challenges that are being faced, and constantly bringing it back to their role as owners and leaders of the transformation. We are there to help with the journey. We are there, typically with the HR department, to support that. But like anything else in the organization, they're the leaders and they need to lead it. And we help them do the job of leading in a way that is complementary to the transformation which has to occur. So that's kind of the first piece. The second piece is line managers. When I work within an organization, I work for my boss. Now there may be many people above that individual, all the way up to senior management. But for me, on the day-to-day basis, who I work for represents that company. So in a culture transformation, I am looking to my immediate supervisor for help, for coaching, for guidance. I'm looking to see if that individual is actually demonstrating the new behaviors that we are being taught. So the line manager plays a pivotal role in any culture transformation. And therefore, Eagle's Flight will come in and not only train the employees on the new behaviors, but will train the line managers on how they can support those behaviors, what coaching skills they may need. We'll often provide line managers with tools, things which they can use to help implement the new behaviors on the job. Now clearly there's got to be a link between the new behaviors and improved results, and inevitably the line managers are responsible for results. So again, we help them with that as well. All to say that the line manager, the immediate supervisors within the organization, need to understand and embrace the transformation, and we show them how, we give them very specific training, we set them up for success, and then we follow up. That's the second component. The third are the employees themselves, and typically there's quite a bit of training there. Sometimes the training can have a digital component, an in-class component, an on-the-job component, but essentially we have to help people understand that their current behaviors, which reflect the old culture, will in some cases have to change or be modified in order to reflect the new culture. And so we train them on those behaviors, and we can say with confidence, your immediate supervisor is there to help you implement those. So the employees obviously play a very critical role. That's the bulk of the population. They need to know what to do and how to do it. So we come along and give them that support, give them those tools, give them that training, but we rely on the line manager to help with its implementation back on the job as per the training we've given them. And then the fourth area are support tools. Now, the support category is actually quite large. It includes things like recognition. You want to acknowledge the employees, the leaders who are actually demonstrating the new behaviors. Sometimes you need to look at all the HR functions, compensation, recruitment, performance management, succession planning, to make sure they're aligned with the new culture, depending on what it is. But also on the support side, you have areas such as communication, as people need to know that progress is being made. They need to be reminded constantly of what those new behaviors are and why they're important, and how if we can all master them and demonstrate them, that the organization will flourish. And there's one last component in that support area that is vital, and that's what we call sustainment and reinforcement. It is the application of the learning back on the job in a way that it is sustained and constantly reinforced until it becomes second nature. And it's that sustaining and reinforcing, the application on the job, that converts it from sort of the flavor of the month mentality to truly being in the organization's DNA. And I simply share that because sometimes folks think, well, you just train the leaders, train the employees, and we're done. But typically, culture transformation is a 2 to 3 year process. And the reason for that is there's quite a bit of time that has to occur as we help people apply the learning, keep it top of mind, understand that those new behaviors are going to have to be adapted in every circumstance, and help them along that journey. Clearly, that sustaining and reinforcing component, the application of the new behaviors, is critical to engage the line managers with. So the line managers also help with that, and that's part of their training. So senior management, key role to lead the charge, line managers to help with the implementation, employees as they understand what need to be done, and then a number of support activities that go on to ensure that the change actually happens.